Good evening. How is everyone? So today we will complete this topic, and after doing the Montreal Protocol, we will see the Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol, and finally we will see something regarding the photochemical smoke and smoke. Okay, so we are wrapping up this topic, the environmental chemistry or the ozone chemistry. And from the next class, either I will take up the astrophysics, okay, the static physics that remains in news all the time. Either I will cover that or I will cover the big data, artificial intelligence. Okay, do you have any preference? Artificial intelligence or the astrophysics? The black holes, what are gravitational waves? Okay, we'll do AI. You guys are not interested in gravitational waves? Gravitational waves, they were discovered 100 years after the Einstein proposed them. AI is also not new. AI is, okay, it was proposed in the 1950s. AI is in news now. It is very much in news. And because of the science fictions and the sci-fi movies. किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम है पोलर वॉर्टेक्स के ओजोन डिप्लीशन, यहां से अगर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम है तो मुझे बता सकता है, और अगर पिछली क्लासेस में भी कोई प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि इफ आई एम नॉट कमिंग विद अ वेरी गुड एनालॉजी टुडे, I can come up with a very good analogy tomorrow. You understand? But by what is analogy? Analogy. Good evening, Aman. Yes, a kind of comparison. Yes, we can say it is a kind of comparison by giving examples. Yes. So we were doing this Montreal Protocol. This was signed in 1987, and this protocol, this agreement, it entered into force in 1989. And this is also a universally ratified convention, a universally ratified protocol. Okay, the parties to the protocol, to the Montreal Protocol, they meet once every year. So why do they meet once every year? Do you see any logic in it? Why do they meet every year? Yes, to discuss the progress, to discuss the future plan, okay, to assess how much they have done for the kind of review mechanism. Yes, Arpit? Yes, Aman, to analyze and review. So this Montreal Protocol, it includes the legally binding commitments. You all know what is meant by the legally binding commitments. Okay. The countries that have ratified the Montreal Protocol, they are bound by international law to follow the what has been decided for them. Okay. They have to meet their targets. some targets they are decided under this Montreal Protocol regarding the production and consumption of the ozone depleting substances. So countries, they have to fulfill their targets. And this treaty, it was very successful. Okay, and the ozone hole, it has shown signs of recovery. And for the ozone, the existing banks of the ozone depleting substances, this protocol is silent on it. Those ozone depleting substances that we have already produced, this protocol is silent on it. What shall we do with those existing bank of the ozone depleting substances? जो पहले से जितना भी कुछ प्रोड्यूस हो चुका है, उसके डिस्ट्रक्शन को लेके यहाँ पे कोई रोड मैप उन्होंने डिस्कस नहीं किया। क्या उसको किस तरीके से डिस्ट्रॉय किया जाएगा? जो एनवायरनमेंट के अंदर हम एमिट कर चुके हैं, उस बैंक्स, जो बैंक्स हैं एग्जिस्टिंग बैंक्स ऑफ द ओडीएस, उसके बारे में ये प्रोटोकॉल साइलेंट थी। So in the first phase of the Montreal Protocol, the CFCs, halogens, carbon tetrachloride, these were covered. Okay, so in the first phase of the Montreal Protocol, these ozone depleting substances, they were the major target, and their production and consumption was reduced. So CFCs, they were eliminated first by the developed world and then by the developing countries. सबसे पहले डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज ने CFCs को एलिमिनेट किया, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज दे एलिमिनेटेड द CFCs बाय 1995. ओके, एंड डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज ने भी बाय 2010 or 2015, most of the developing countries, they have also eliminated the CFCs. Okay, so in the first phase, the CFCs were the major target. And in the second phase of the Montreal Protocol, which started in around 2003, the HCFCs, they were the main target. Okay, HCFCs were the main target in the second phase of the Montreal Protocol. So these HCFCs, CFCs, they are known as the class 1 ozone depleting substances, and these HCFCs, they are class 2 ozone depleting substances. And what is the difference between the class 1 and the class 2 ozone depleting substances? The difference is of ozone depleting potential. Okay, so we have CFC 11, and this CFC 11 is also known as R11. Okay, so the ozone depleting potential to the CFC 11, it is assigned as 1. Ozone depleting potential of CFC 11 is 1. Okay, and ozone depleting potential of any other substance, it is defined in relation to CFC 11. Okay, so we define the ozone depleting potential as the ratio. It is ratio between how much ozone will be destroyed by a given substance upon how much ozone will be destroyed by the CFC 11. If we are using the same amount of the given substance and same amount of CFC 11. So this ratio is the ozone depleting potential of the given substance. अब जैसे यहाँ पे कंपेयर करना है HCFC का, HCFC with respect to CFC. So in the numerator we will keep the that material HCFC, and in the denominator we will have the CFC 11. And this ratio will be the ozone depleting potential of the given HCFC. Okay. जितनी ओजोन एक क्वांटिटी CFC 11 की Okay, Saloni. See, suppose we have 100 units of CFC 11. Okay, 100 units or 100 gram, any quantity. We have a quantity of CFC 11. And that quantity destroys some quantity of ozone. Okay. So we will take 100 units of HCFC and we will say how much ozone these HCFC will destroy. Suppose the 100 units of CFCs 11, they were destroying 100 molecules of ozone. And the 100 units of HCFC, they are destroying only 80 units of ozone. So the ozone depleting potential for the HCFC, it will be 0.8. Okay. This is how the ozone depleting potential is defined. Because the ozone depleting potential of HCFC, it is destroying less amount of ozone, its ozone depleting potential is less than 1. Those gases which have a more potential than the CFC, their ozone depleting potential will be greater than 1, and those gases which destroy lesser ozone, they will have the ozone depleting potential less than 1. Okay, Manju. Yes, Nikhil, HCFCs, they are also having the ozone depleting potential. The only difference is that they destroy ozone to a lesser extent. See, we are defining ozone depleting potential with respect to the CFC 11. Okay. And ozone depleting potential, it is just the ratio. अगर आपने 1 kg of CFC 11 लिया है and it is destroying say 100 molecules of ozone, okay, then we will take the 1 kg of another substance which can be HCFC 11 or any other compound. We have to take the same amount. Then we will see how much ozone molecule it will destroy. This is very simple. Yes, for the global warming potential, we take a time period of 100 years. In a similar way, we have the ozone depleting potential. You have to understand just one thing. If the ozone depleting potential of a given substance is less than 1, then it is less potent. Okay, then it will be less potent than the CFCs. And if the ozone depleting potential is more than 1, then it is more potent than the CFCs. अब समझ आया? Okay, good. So these class 2 ozone depleting substances, HCFCs, are the class 2 ozone depleting substances, and their ozone depleting potential, it is less than 0.2. Okay, the ozone depleting potential of HCFCs, it is less than 0.2, and HCFC is also a class of molecules. It is a class of gases. So there are several HCFCs, okay, 10-12 HCFCs, and the potential, it ranges from 0.005 to 0.2. So ozone depleting potential of the HCFCs, it ranges between 0.005 to 0.2. It is less than 0.2. Okay, so in this second phase, the focus shifted to the phase out of HCFCs. And HCFCs, they are also ozone depleting. So developed countries, they have been reducing the consumption of HCFCs, and they will completely phase them out by 2020. Okay. because there is a belief that developed world is more responsible for the global pollution. So developed world, they have a larger responsibility. Okay, they have to face them out by 2020. But for the developing countries, they have to start out their phasing out process in 2013, and they have to achieve their targets by 2030. Okay, because historically developed countries, they are responsible for more of the global pollution. Okay, जो developed countries ने, you will learn in the history, in world history and Indian history as well, सबसे ज्यादा जो उत्पात मचाया है वो developed countries ने ही मचाया है, and basically the European countries and the United States. Okay, so India has phased out, recently India has phased out HCFC 141B. Okay, India has phased out HCFC 141B on 1st January 2020. So this HCFC 141B, because India has phased it out recently, so it becomes important from the exam point of view, and it may even come in the prelims 2020, that is scheduled to happen on 4th of October. Okay, so this HCFC 141B, it was majorly used by the farming industry. Subodhit, ODP, what is the ODP for HCFC 141B? See, I can only say one thing for certainty, it is between 0.005 to 0.2. And no one is going to ask you what is the exact ODP of the HCFC 141B. Never it will be asked. Okay. So the ozone depleting potential of HCFC 141B, it is less than the CFCs. Okay, it is less than 1. They can go to only that much extreme. They can ask you, is it less than 1 or is it more than 1? But they will not ask you exactly what is the ozone depleting potential. So these HCFC 141B, they were used majorly by the farming industry. Okay, people, thank you. So HCFC 141B, they were used majorly by the farming industry, and see, India has passed the, please write, ozone depleting substances regulation and control rules. Ozone depleting substances regulation and control rules. Okay, and these rules, they are passed under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. So the government of India has passed the ozone depleting substances regulation and control rules, and they were first notified under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. Okay, so these rules were amended in 2019 December. And by way of amendment, the issuance of import permit for HCFC 141B, HCFC 141B को इंपोर्ट करने के लिए परमिट देना बंद कर दिया. ओके, सो इंडिया के अंदर HCFC 141B प्रोड्यूस नहीं हो रहा था. इंडस्ट्री जो भी HCFC को यूटिलाइज कर रही थी वो इंपोर्ट होके आता था. इंडिया के अंदर अभी भी उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग नहीं हो रही. So this HCFC 141B, it was not manufactured in the country. HCFC 141B, it was majorly imported from the other countries, and the imported HCFC 141B was utilized by the farming industry. So recently the government has even banned the importing of the HCFC 141B. Is it clear? अब बस इंपोर्ट बैन किया है, मैन्युफैक्चर तो अभी भी नहीं हो रहा था. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडिया ने 2014 में बैन कर दी थी. The manufacturing of this HCFC 141B, India phased out the domestic manufacturing of HCFC 141B in 2014. Okay, by amending these same rules. So अब HCFC को import भी नहीं कर सकते. Okay. Now next, after the HCFCs, first we were using the CFCs and then we were using the HCFCs. After that, we moved to the HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons. So these HFCs, they were non-ozone depleting. They have very, very low ozone depleting potential. Okay, they do not deplete the ozone. So these HFCs, they are non-ozone depleting. So HFCs, they were mooted as the substitute for the HCFCs and the CFCs. They were mooted as the solution, as the substitute or the alternative for the CFCs and the HCFCs. But these HFCs, they have high global warming potential. Though these HFCs, they do not destroy the ozone layer, but they are contributing to the global warming. Okay, HFCs alternative हैं CFCs and HCFCs का, और HFCs ओजोन को भी डिप्लीट नहीं करते हैं, but HFCs they contribute to global warming. Yes, Vipul. So next thing is the Kigali Agreement. Yes, Nikhil, global warming and ozone depletion, they are different. Global warming is the rising of the earth temperature, the average temperature of the earth. Okay, it changes. When average temperature of the earth rises, we say that global warming is happening. The rising of the average global temperature is the global warming. And because of the global warming, we have the climate change. Okay. So there is also a difference between global warming and climate change. Don't worry, you will cover it in your environment and ecology. Okay. So we have the HFCs. HFCs, they are not ozone depleting, but they are having the high global warming potential and they contribute to climate change because they are contributing to global warming, and global warming is related to climate change. Okay. So the parties to the Montreal Protocol, they in the 28th meeting of the parties. Yes, Nikhil?
That is because CFCs and HCFCs, they contain chlorine, so that is the main ozone depleting substance. But HFCs don't contain chlorine. That's why, no, sir.
Yes, Nikhil. You only have to remember that HFCs, they are non-ozone depleting. Okay. See, UPSC will never go into the domain of chemistry. किसी को भी undue advantage UPSC नहीं मिलने देगी. देखो, प्रिपरेशन में एक there should be a level of trust. Okay, you are trusting us for the proper plan and strategy, and at the same time I should have faith in your capabilities. Okay, and that is where the bond between a guru a teacher or a coach and the student, it gets stronger. With all my heart, I will provide you only that content which will help you in cracking this examination. Okay. And that content will be more than sufficient. Yes, people, HCFCs, they have less ozone depleting potential. The ozone depleting potential of HCFCs is 0.005 to 0.2. Okay. So at the 28th meeting of the parties to the Montreal Protocol, and this meeting, it happened in Kigali, Rwanda. Rwanda is in Africa. It is basically a third world country. So they are kind of empowering these third world countries, and for that reason, this meeting, it took place in Rwanda, Kigali, to empower these third world countries. Okay, and in Kigali, in Rwanda, an agreement was reached to phase down the HFCs. Okay. Yes, Aman. We basically we have the developed countries, and then we have the developing countries like India, and then we have these least developed countries or the third world countries, LDCs, least developed countries or the third world countries. They are very poor. Their economy, it always remain in shambles. So they need our help. They need the help of the developed countries, and they even need the help of the developing countries. So Indian pharmaceutical sector, it supplies a lot of medicines to the least developed countries, these third world countries in Africa. So in the Kigali amendment to the Montreal Protocol, okay, this Montreal Protocol, it was amended, and the parties to the protocol, they decided to phase down HFCs. Okay, they decided that the production and consumption of HFCs, they will reduce it. They will phase down the production and consumption of the HFCs. So target was decided that 80 to 85%, they will reduce the consumption and production of HFCs by 80 to 85% with respect to any base year. Base year, suppose if the production level in the base year was 100 units, then the countries will have to reduce the production and consumption by 80 to 85%. So they will have to bring it down to 15 units. Say if in the base year, in the baseline year, we were producing 100 units, then after the reduction, we have to produce only 15 units after the 85% reduction. So target was decided that we should reduce 80 to 85% from the respective baselines, and we have to achieve these targets by 2047. ओके, इन लोगों ने डिसाइड किया कि ये 80 to 85% वाला टारगेट ये 2047 तक अचीव करना है. ओके, yes, Nikhil, HFCs don't destroy the ozone layer, but they are contributing to global warming. Please write one fact. The global warming potential please write that the global warming potential of HFCs, okay, it ranges from 4 to 12,400. Okay, the global warming potential of HFCs, it ranges from 4 to 12,400. So HFCs, they are very potent greenhouse gases as compared to CO2. Now there is a question for you. Do CFCs also contribute to global warming? What do you think? Yes, CFCs, they also contribute to global warming. Please write the global warming potential of CFCs as well. It ranges from 4 to 14,000. The global warming potential of different CFCs, it ranges from 4 to 14,000. And for HCFCs, the global warming potential was in the range 79 to 1980. These figures, they are not important. Okay, ये याद करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. लिखवा इसलिए दिए हैं कि ताकि एक आइडिया आपके दिमाग में रहे. एग्जैक्ट नंबर्स अगर याद नहीं रहे, लेकिन एक आइडिया रहेगा कि ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पोटेंशियल इनका कितना था. ओके, तो याद करने पे बिल्कुल जोर मत देना. याद करने की बहुत सारी चीजें आएंगी एज यू प्रोसीड विद योर प्रिपरेशन. ओके, so this agreement, it entered into force on 1st January 2019. Okay, so India has also ratified this Kigali agreement, Kigali amendment to the Montreal Protocol, and this amendment has entered into force on the 1st January 2019. The phasing out period for developed countries and developing countries, it is different. Okay, so the base here for the developed countries like USA, UK, Canada, European Union, the base year for them is 2014. जो भी इनके प्रोडक्शन लेवल 2012 में थे, so compared to that level, they have to reduce their consumption and the production of HFCs. Okay, and they have to begin the phasing out process in 2019, and they have to achieve their targets by 2036, and they will reduce by 85%. Whatever be the production level in the year 2012, the 85% will be, they have to eliminate 85% of that HFCs. Okay, तो कितना बचेगा फिर 15% of the 2012 levels. So they have to achieve their targets in the period 2019 to 2036, and base year for the developed countries, it is 2012. Okay, इसमें किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए. They have to begin their phasing out process in 2019, and they have to achieve their targets by 2036, and base year for them, the reference year for them is 2012. Then we have this group 2 under the Kigali amendment. In the group 2, we have countries like China, Brazil, and even some African countries. They are put in this group 2. And for the group 2 countries, the base year is 2021. Okay, so they will begin the phasing out process in 2024, and they have to achieve their targets by 2045. The base year for them is 2021, and they have to reduce HFCs by 80%. They have to reach up to 20% of the 2021 levels. Okay, group second countries के लिए base year is 2021 and they have to start the phasing out process. उनको HFCs का elimination start करना है 2024 में and they have to achieve their targets by 2045. Yes, Kritika. See, one thing you have to notice from here that the timeline given to the developing countries, okay, and the very poor countries, it is larger. And the timeline for reduction given to the developed countries, it is a smaller timeline. Okay, they have to reduce it in the period 2019. They have to start even early. They are starting in 2019. Their base year is in 2012 and they have to achieve their targets early. Even if you forget the exact figures, but you have to remember this basic distinction between the developed and developing countries. If you can memorize, that will be very good. It will always be an advantage. No, Soumya. India is in group 3. Okay. India, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia. We are in the group 3. And India will begin its phase down process in 2028 and we will achieve our targets by 2047. Okay, and base year for India, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and many other countries like us, it is 2024 to 2026. The average between 2024 and 2026. So India still can produce the HFCs. Okay, 2024 से 2026 तक we still can produce the HFCs. Up to 2028 we can produce the HFCs. Okay, but we have to, the base year for us is 2024 and we have to begin our phasing out process in 2028. तो अभी जितना भी प्रोड्यूस करना है इंडिया अभी कर सकता है 2028 तक, हमको कोई रोकने वाला नहीं है. हम अपनी कैपेसिटी दिखा सकते हैं कि हम कितना ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं HFCs. ओके, so this is all about the Kigali amendment to the Montreal Protocol and there is one more thing I think I should tell you. See, please write a heading in your notebook, environmentalism. Okay, please write the heading, environmentalism. So what is this environmentalism? कोई बताना चाहेगा? Only the basic idea, not the details. And this environmentalism has a connection with the ozone depletion, these Montreal Protocol and the Paris Agreement under the climate change, UNFCCC. All of these are connected to environmentalism.
So action for the protection of the environment?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Saloni, it is action for the protection of the environment. Yes, Aman, initiative for environment conservation. अब इसमें एक कहानी मैं बता रहा हूँ आप लोगों को. So in the 1960s, in the late 1950s and in the early 1960s, there was a marine biologist, Rachel Carson. Her name was Rachel Carson. She was a marine biologist, and she wrote a book. She wrote a book about the vanishing of the wildlife, especially the birds. And in her book name was Silent Spring. And this is also important. This name is important. Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. She wrote a book, Silent Spring. Okay. And in this book, she explained the harmful impacts of DDT that was used in agriculture in United States. And she explained very beautifully to the American general public that how this DDT is responsible for vanishing of the birds, how the wildlife is affected by the usage of this DDT. So the declining bird population, the declining animal population, it is linked to the usage of DDT. And she wrote her book in a way that it invoked emotions in the American general public. Nikhil is typing something. So environmentalism, it is the concern of the humanity for the environment. Prior to 1960s or 1950s, that concern, it is not on a very larger scale. But after the 1960s, the environmental concern, it arose on a very larger scale. In fact, on a global scale. Nikhil, DDT is a chemical that is used in agriculture. And this chemical was used in United States in the agriculture. And this marine biologist, Rachel Carson, she find out that because of the DDT, the birds are dying, the animals are dying. Okay, it is a kind of chemical fertilizer. Yes. Yes, Kritika, it is fertilizer.
How there?
Sir, but how the fertilizer? By eating the seeds which are affected by the DDT, the poison, with poison they die, or how, sir?
See, by the effect of DDT was used in agriculture. So this DDT, you must have read in environment and ecology that DDT, it accumulates, bioaccumulation.
सर DDT इज एन इंसेक्टिसाइड के तरह यूज करते हैं सर.
हाँ हाँ हाँ. लेकिन पॉइंट ये नहीं है कि डीडीटी से कैसे वैनिश हो रहे हैं. डीडीटी बायोअक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है, ठीक है, टिश्यूज के अंदर. सो डीडीटी के इफेक्ट की वजह से ये पता चला दैट एनिमल्स आर वैनिशिंग. Okay, so by this book, the emotions, they were invoked in the American general public, and there was an opinion that we have to protect the environment. That is the main point. So the concern of the humanity for the environment, it began on a broader scale only in the 1960s. In fact, at the global level. Yes, Frankie. Okay, Aditi, thanks for the information. Aditi is saying that DDT was poured in water for eradication of mosquitoes. Okay, so after this book, the American public, political opinion developed among the Americans that we have to protect the environment, and this DDT, this chemical should be banned. We have to ban this DDT. So after a public movement for the banning of the DDT was finally banned in agriculture in USA, and in the 1969 An Environment Protection Agency was established, EPA. Okay, a bill was passed to establish the Environment Protection Agency in the United States, and this was established in 1970. So a new organization was set up especially for the protection of the environment. Previously, any government was not having any such kind of agency. Okay, so a new agency was established for the protection of the environment, and DDT was banned in the agriculture. So after the publication of this book, Silent Spring, we see the establishment of this agency, Environment Protection Agency in USA, US EPA. Okay, then in the 1971 and 72, I guess you have to verify it from the internet, the United Nations Conference on Human Environment, or the Stockholm Conference, it is also known as Stockholm Conference. Okay, 1972, Aman is saying it was the 1972. So United Nations Conference on Human Environment, it was convened under the United Nations. Okay, it was under the aegis of the United Nations, and this conference was convened, and all the world leaders, they discussed this environmentalism, the protection of the environment, that humanity should protect the environment. And this conference में from India, Indira Gandhi participated in this conference. Okay. So in the same year, 1972, the Indian Parliament passed an act, which is Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And in the 1980s, we passed the Water Pollution Act, the Air Pollution Act. Air Pollution Act was passed in, I think, 1981 or 82. The Wildlife Protection Act was passed in 1972. The Environment Protection Act was passed in 1986. So, after the start of the environmentalism, the global environmental concern, and in every country, we saw the passing of such laws or the establishment of agencies for the protection of the environment. Okay, and this Montreal Protocol, the Vienna Convention, this is a part of environmentalism, because a concern arises in the humanity that we have to protect the environment at a global level. So this is environmentalism. All the bodies, even in 1972, UNEP was established. Okay, and even in 1991 we have the establishment of UNFCCC, I think in 93. The United Nations Earth Summit, the Rio Earth Summit of 1992. The world leaders, they are meeting regularly since then, and there is a growing concern to protect the environment. This is environmentalism. So there are certain landmark events, and one such landmark event is the publication of the book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. अब यहाँ पे नाम important है, Silent Spring. ठीक है, इसमें किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम? Okay, Aman, thank you for rectifying. Soumi is saying no. Soumi, what is the exact problem? Okay. So जब भी अब क्लाइमेट चेंज आपको पढ़ना है, ओके, ओजोन डिप्लीशन हमने पढ़ा, या आगे हम जो भी कुछ पढ़ेंगे तो उसको इससे कनेक्ट करके पढ़ना है. ठीक है, इससे एक ब्रॉडर पर्सपेक्टिव हमें समझ में आता है. So we have three conventions, three broader category of the conventions. One is the CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. Okay, and one is related to the climate change, which is UNFCCC. and one is this related to ozone. So these are three broader categories, and we have certain other convention for some specific purposes, but these are the three broader conventions. And under the CBD, we have these Nagoya Protocol, the Cartagena Protocol, and under the UNFCCC, we have the Paris Agreement, the Kyoto Protocol. Okay. So if you will study using this larger perspective, then the retention will be higher. कोई बताएगा कि इंडिया में एनवायरनमेंट मिनिस्ट्री कब एस्टैब्लिश हुई? Ministry of Environment and Forest. See, in the 1980s, I think it is in 1985. Please verify it. Most probably it is 1985. The Environment Ministry, the Forest Ministry, it was established in 1985. Okay. And the name of the ministry, it was changed very recently. We have the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. As the concern for the environment, it is growing. Okay, we have changed the name of the Ministry of Environment and Forest to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And when is this name changed to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change? I guess it was changed in 2012 or 14. Again, you have to verify it from the Google. I am not sure. So this is also a part of environmentalism. Environment Ministry in India, it was established after that environmental movement. Okay. You will cover this environmentalism in environment and ecology. So I have to cover this smog and photochemical smog. Okay, so tomorrow we will complete this smog and photochemical smog, and we will start with the artificial intelligence. And if there is any specific doubt, any doubt, okay, be it related to blockchain or IPR, I will try to come up with analogies so that you can understand. And there are only a few students who are actively participating in the discussion. Other students, they are not as active. What is the reason? Okay, Kritika. I told you that CFC 11, it is also named as R11. Okay, this CFC 11, it has the ozone depleting potential of 1. It has been assigned randomly the ozone depleting potential as 1. And the ozone depleting potential of all other substances so all other substances, they are assigned an ozone depleting potential with respect to this CFC 11 or R11. Sharda is saying not really knowledgeable, so I don't answer the question. So Sharda, who is not knowledgeable, me or you? Thank you, Nikhil. See, I was watching one of the videos related to blockchain, and Arpit, he was having a question regarding the cryptocurrency exchanges, the value of the Bitcoin. Okay, I think it is not very clear to everyone. If Arpit wants me to repeat it, I will repeat it again. Okay, I will repeat it. Okay, so I will explain it tomorrow after we complete the photochemical smog and the smog. Okay, before beginning with the artificial intelligence, I will explain you what exactly are the cryptocurrency exchanges. The doubt was there because it is related to economy, and you have not completed your economy, so that is why there was a doubt. I will handle it tomorrow. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take care.